Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. US markets were down about 0.4%, the Dow. The Nasdaq was flat as we had slightly weaker consumer confidence data. Also the debt ceiling deadline is approaching, so that played in the minds of investors, and the 10-year bond yields have actually come down to almost about 2.69. Remember friends, in the last about 3 to 4 weeks the 10-year bond yields in US have actually come down from almost about 2.9 to about 2.69 odd levels, which is definitely a bit of positive. And European markets too were positive, and they were up anywhere from 0.5 to almost about 1%. Also we had some positive data coming out from Germany, which definitely played in the minds of investors. And when we look at the Asian markets today morning, Nikkei is down almost about 0.35%, and most of the other Asian markets are marginally positive, particularly Hang Seng and Shanghai. SGX Nifty is also suggesting that we are going to open up with a flattish kind of a bias after a very lackluster session that we saw yesterday, where there was hardly any movement in the index or major stocks. In terms of flows, FIs were net sellers in the cash market to the tune of 21 crore. Remember friends, yesterday they were sellers to the tune of about 81 odd crore. So we are not seeing much of action from the FIIs in the cash market. But domestic institutions have been selling, and even in yesterday's trade they were sellers to the tune of almost about 500 crore. In the last 1 month, the domestic institutional investors have sold almost about 7,500 crore in the cash market. And in the index futures, in yesterday's trade, FIs were net buyers to the tune of about 850 odd crore. We are going to have an important F&O expiry coming up tomorrow, and to take you through important observations and the strategies that we can have, let me invite Sadhna to take us through important cues and strategies.
Good morning friends, let's have a view on derivatives. In yesterday's trade, we have seen that markets continue to trade in a narrow range of approximately 40 to 50 points and finally ended the volatile day of trade slightly in a positive terrain. In this period, we have seen that markets players have accumulated long positions for second day in a row, as approximately 23.62 lakh shares were added in open interest and cost of carry also increased by 33%. And along with that, we have seen that FIs were net buyers in index futures of approximately 855 odd crores. And PCR also decreased further from 1.31 to 1.30, and it is clearly visible in the options activity in put strike of 5,900 followed by 5,800 and 5,700 seen a good activity, and on higher side call strike of 6,000 and 6,100 has seen a good activity. Overall our bias for the market is positive, but we may see 5,850 level might act as a good support from intraday perspective, and one can go long on Yes Bank from intraday perspective with a stop loss of 315.05. Thank you.
Here are the important news and events that we are tracking today. Yesterday there was an important CCEA meet, and the important takeaways from that meet are that the cabinet has approved the awarding of the road projects totaling almost about 4,500 crore. Also we have seen important decision being taken on the policy of shale gas and the oil exploration, which would pave the way for the state-run ONGC and Oil India to hunt for the non-conventional resources in the blocks which would be awarded to them. And also the allocation of the coal mining part also has been finalized, which is an important development for moving ahead with important infrastructure projects. In another important development, the Financial Technologies Board has improved the BSE, that the audit report of the standalone and consolidated for the March 2013 should no longer be relied, because a large part of the business was coming out from NSCL, and so both NSCL auditor as well as the Financial Technologies auditors have said that their financial statements are no longer reliable. In other important development, Tata Motors Spanish facility has been stopped because it was not making profits. So overall this is not a big development, but a marginal negative for Tata Motors. UB Group Chairman Vijay Mallya has said that he is ready to buy stakes from Zuari and Deepak Fertilizers in the Mangalore Chemicals. And RBI is relaxing norms to raise funds abroad for all the companies. Earlier there was this facility was available only for the infrastructure companies, but now all kinds of companies can avail this facility. SpiceJet has denied that there is a plan to stake sale with any of the companies, and earlier there were rumors that they are looking at selling the stake to Tiger Air. and Naresh Goyal, who is the owner of Jet Airways, is going to buy about 1% stake from another promoter company called Tailwinds for about 45 crore. In an important development, the approval for the recent deal of private equity investor Barings in Hexaware has been cleared by the FIPB, which is definitely a bit of positive for Hexaware. And in another news, we have come out with a switch report wherein we are suggesting a switch from HUL to Colgate. The main reason for that is that the valuation gap between the HUL and Colgate has actually expanded to almost about 35%, as the HUL is quoting at a price multiple of about 37 times forward earnings, whereas the Colgate is quoting at a valuation of about 27 times. So this valuation gap is not justified given the fact that the volume growth for HUL has come down to almost about 4 to 5%. So we think that it makes sense to move from Colgate to HUL. Coming to the company specific news, because of this approval for the Shell gas and the possible allocation that can be given to both ONGC and Oil India, one can go long on ONGC with a stop loss of 269 and a target of about 282 to about 287. As per media reports, the Australia's second largest telecommunication company Optus has given outsourcing contract to India's Tech Mahindra. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 1310 and a target of about 1377 to about 1403. And lastly, Unitech has been able to lease out a large part of their Gurgaon SEZ to Blackstone, totally about 3.6 million square feet, which would be definitely a big positive for Unitech. So one can go long there with a stop loss of 16.30 and a target of about 17.75. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a great trading session. See you tomorrow at the same time.